And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everyone, welcome in. We got a big LSU show tonight. Lots to discuss. A little bit of LSU football news last week that happened after the fact that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what it all means and the high expectations the LSU fans have. This incredible transfer portal combined with a nice, highly respected high school recruiting class. And LSU Baseball Media Day, of course, was on Friday. The LSU women's basketball team continued their winning streak. A couple of layups, I guess, the next few games in Texas, and then not too far off in the future, South Carolina, Valentine's Day. Softball Media Day, we're going to talk about that a few days ago. Gymnastics and their season. A lot of stuff going on this spring, but we're probably going to talk about football tonight with a little bit of basketball, I guess. And we'll keep you updated as to what's going on with the LSU men's game. We're obviously going head-to-head with them tonight. But welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough. You're looking good and ready to go, as always. We appreciate all of you tuning in here on a Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Yes, we normally don't go against LSU Live Sports, but men's basketball is a little bit different. They will tip it off here shortly against Mississippi State. And, Mike, you gave me a little caveat and a little tidbit and a little trivia, a little surprise for those students going to the game tonight.
Yeah, they're giving away Shaq statues, and I was laughing. I saw the Daily Reveille put out a piece, and I don't know if it made it way all over everywhere, but evidently they are telling LSU fans or LSU students on giveaway nights, because they're giving away a little miniature Shaq statue, first 1,500 in the door, that they're going to scan you on the way in, and if you try to leave early after getting the free gift before tip-off, they're going to scan you again, and they're going to take away their season tickets.
Which might not be a bad thing. No, listen, by the way, the reason Mike and I are so happy tonight is
evidently we're having mic issues again. I tested them. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know. I tested them and recorded. Hold on one second. Y'all stay right there for 1 second. I'm going to exit out and I'm going to come right back in. All right, let's try this now. Give me a thumbs up or let me know how it sounds now.
Anyway, as I was saying.
Go ahead, buddy.
Since we've last been in here, Lane Kiffin went fishing again, and this time it was the 5-star. I got to ask you, I know a lot of people, including myself, got a little agitated because Uncle got so involved. We thought that there was probably a verbal on a Monday. We thought it'd go down on Tuesday. Didn't happen until Friday night. But, folks, if you don't realize it, one of the weakest spots in the LSU football team now, last year, my bad, is going to be one of the best. And if you line it up, however way you want to put it, with Seaton at left tackle, Devin Harper, Braylon Moore, the Baye from Maryland, and then a host of others, possibly at right tackle, and some depth. That's going to be a real strong point with the offensive line. So bringing in Jordan Seaton, we have any idea what it was the final figure, and what do you think the holdup was with the uncle just wanting reassurances or?
Yeah, I don't know what the final figure is. I mean, there's been some speculation out there. I think they've done a good job of kind of keeping that. It's if anybody's out there reporting a number, it's not like it's
It's a guess, huh?
yeah. I'm not gonna say it's a guess. It might be in the ballpark, but if you notice, there's not a whole lot of media outlets that are, putting out the same number, or there's a lot of groupthink. I think they've done a smart job. I think it's not only smart but logical. Throughout the Brian Keller era, you were hearing amounts almost on every kid. They're not doing that, and to me, that's smart.
Yeah.
And hopefully, these kids that are getting big paydays are not sharing it with their teammates. All that does is going to cause them problems, and can cause problems in their locker room. So, but it is a highly regarded class. But when you've got 58 new players between high school signing class and transfer portal, that's a whole lot of players. And we talked about it on your show earlier, and I'm going to bring it up here. Of course, it's not scientific. And obviously, anybody that subscribes to TigerBait is a big LSU fan and probably a homer. But I put out a poll last week. Your early prediction for the LSU football team's 2026 regular season record. The options were 12-0, 11-1, 10-2, 9-3, 8-4. 75% of the voters are 10-2 or higher. That's a big number.
We talk about it every year, though, Mike. This is what people live for. It's that anticipation. And last year, after BK and LSU beat Clemson, I'm sitting here, and I came in here fired up. Mike says, sit down. I want to give you a reality check. They're going to go 7-5 and lose the bowl game and go 7-6. I said, what? He said, I'm just telling you. I've got bad karma.
Yeah, but see, you say that, and everybody says, yeah, but that's just Mike. He's always negative, right?
I didn't say you were always negative. I'm just saying I'm making fun, though. But you have said, and we've had fun the last couple of years, you've kind of said 8-4, and you know what? If they lose an important player like Nussmeier or whatever, it could be 7-5, and darn if it didn't come to fruition. So look, none of us know. So on that poll, I would check IDK. I don't know, but it is going to be so much fun. And we mentioned
Well, I
this.
teased Buddy earlier today because he gets after me for wanting to give predictions this time of year. Last week, if you watched the show, he said LSU was going to beat the pants off of Ole Miss and score over 40 in Oxford. He gets to make predictions, but I don't. So that's how it rolls.
You said it a little more.
I like what Jeff Garman says here. Enjoy the ride. I think regardless whether it's 8-4, 9-3, or a magical 11-1, I think it's going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun ride, particularly the first year.
8-4 is not even in my wheelhouse.
Okay,
but I did say, and I will continue to say this all the way up until that third week in September. I like Charlie Weiss Jr. and Lane Kiffin calling plays against Pete Golding. I like Kevin Smith lining up against Frank Wilson. I like Nick Savage lifting these guys up and getting them stronger than the previous. I just think that you've got to take into consideration. Look, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and they've got to be fitted and put in at the right time. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. But from a position player standpoint, Mike, as one of the viewers corrected me a couple of weeks ago, I never thought they would be into the 85, 90, 95 range. They're close to 105 when this is all said and done. And that just
we were sitting there 25 to 30,
3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, you didn't have any quarterbacks and didn't have any offensive linemen.
One of the guys in the LSU media I heard on a show say 19 was his prediction.
For what?
For the total in the portal before it started.
Yeah. So anyway, it's on paper.
Blew past that like it was nothing.
And lo and behold, it is going to be good. Look, it's very exciting. And yes, I am adamantly going to continue to say that LSU in week 3, I don't care if Chambliss, and I hope Chambliss gets that year. I do. I hope he's a quarterback for Ole Miss. And I hope that Lacey is healthy, ready to go. I just think that that's going to be a big game for the Ole Miss folks.
I'll say this.
And the LSU folks.
I'm not wishing anything bad on Chambliss, but do I think he deserves another year? I do not. I think they need to put their foot down.
Well, Pavia got another year.
Yeah, the specifics regarding Chambliss, he should not get another year.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, look, by the way, in case you missed it, you didn't hear any of the Ross Dellingers and the Pat Forties and the Pete Nakoses and all these other guys that were going crazy when LSU was trying to get Damon Williams to get out of his contract. But the situation with Duke is that not only did Duke and Miami have a little tete-a-tete, did you see the way Dabo Swinney got after Pete Golding? Go pull that up out of the file about 18 minutes, and Dabo turned him in again. Quick question: you think they do anything in the NCAA, or is it going to be this?
I was talking to someone earlier today. I think they need to. They've got to do something.
I think it'll be a slap on the wrist. But my point is that the Duke quarterback.
And what would be a slap on the wrist? Not allow too many transfer portals to visit you officially?
Well, some people would even say Pete Golding suspended for a game. Now, I don't know to what extent they're going to go, but Dabo did make a good point. If you don't stop it now, it's going to get even worse.
To me, if it's transfer portal related, you have to make the fine, the discipline transfer portal related.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's not allowing them to have visits for the first week of portal or taking some away, whatever it is.
But my point is that this is crazy, and the Duke quarterback, Miami's going to pay the $2 million buyout and give him $6 million, so that's going to cost them $8 million for Darian Mensah. And everybody was going like crazy that Kiffin was the only one doing it. And, oh, by the way, that's why Dabo and Pete got sidetracked, is because Luke Ferretti, who had actually signed with Clemson and had gone to class. Now, we had this comment the other day. If you sign and you go to class, that's when I don't think you should let a guy renege and get off. If you go to class, and he did at Clemson for a week, that kid should not be able to go to Ole Miss. That being said, as we know, what holds up in the courtroom, Tiger Shark will tell you, NCAA never wins there.
Fizzbuzz, buddy, I think that was just a horrible good guess by Mike, talking about my record prediction. All right, y'all do me a favor. Hit the like button, and please share that we're live to your social media. Facebook, text it out to your, link out to your friends, etc. We're going to go here for a solid hour. Super chat already in from Brian Penton. Good evening, Mike and Buddy from Alexandria, Minnesota. It's a balmy 2 less than 3 weeks away from baseball. Yes, and I'm amazed by. Certainly, I was out there all day for media day on Friday, and we had about an hour and a half, I guess, between the end of player interviews and Jay Johnson and us filming practice. And I was starving to death. Kept saying, "Man, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna."
They didn't feed y'all at baseball?
No.
They stopped that a few years ago.
I had some fun with Jay about that because softball media day had food. Yeah. So I said, I said, no, I'm going to stay. Over 50,000 views on that practice video on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to get out there and shoot some more of that for you guys. It starts back tomorrow. I'm going to try and get out there tomorrow afternoon.
By the way, you're going to love the big, burly first baseman. He moves big, but are you buying Zach York at 295 pounds? You saw him. Is he legitimate 5 pounds from 300?
If they say he is, he looks it.
He can hit the baseball, can make some plays, will get you into baseball. They are loaded with pitchers. It was just loaded with position players.
It's just too funny to see him and
Stephen
Milam walk out on the field side by side, and the size.
Monster's going to be here one more year, has turned into a great player, and of course going to be the shortstop. But a lot of specialists, and we'll see who you think gets the ball. Do you realize 2 weeks from Friday, we're talking about first pitch? Oh, by the way, 2 o'clock on the afternoon start, February 13th against Milwaukee, 2 p.m. I'm thinking Case and Evans are probably going to get the ball and pitch about 5 innings.
And our batter up show at Kendall Rogers is coming soon. I need to talk to Kendall and line up when we're going to start cranking those out again, probably next week. So be on the lookout for that. That's why you need to hit the subscribe button, that notification bell. Kendall and I usually go 15 to there might be a few weeks where we get close to 30 minutes, but it's typically 15 to 25 minutes. And we break down what's going on that week and around the SEC, around the nation, and his thoughts on having seen LSU. And, of course, he watches a lot of LSU. I think D1 Baseball's biggest 2 or 3 fan bases are LSU and Arkansas that are subscribers. So he and his entire staff obviously watch a lot of LSU, returning, defending national champs. And
you heard what they did today.
What?
Unveiled the Intimidator. So it's all up there with all of the years. And
you hear the welcoming committee?
Yeah, I hear the welcoming committee.
Mama's home.
Mama's
garage door goes up and they go into gear.
But you'll see the new Intimidator out there. But look, I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but how many times we call it? It's not Alec box. It's the ice box at the beginning of the season. Gloves, blankets ready. That wind coming off that river. To me, it feels like it's about 5 degrees cooler when you get at the box versus other places.
This afternoon, I'm in a T-shirt outside, and then we get a little, few hours of 75-degree weather, and then.
Well, no, we didn't hit 75 today.
I was out there in a T-shirt today, and it was fine.
Well, I know, but it hit upper 50s. But
yeah,
a couple more cool nights, freezing in the morning, and Arctic air coming in late Friday night, early Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Chilly, folks.
All right, let's hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride Roofing.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
But you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
All right, there you go. Give them a call, 855-PRIDE-16. If you need a new roof, need a roof inspection, think maybe you might be having some issues or wanting to see how much life you have left in your roof, it's a free roof inspection. 855-PRIDE-16. Say TigerBait, and you're going to get TigerBait free. They pay for it for a year. That's a $99 value. You can't beat it. Of course, main branch in Hammond, new location here in Baton Rouge, Thibodaux, Houma, New Orleans, big on the North Shore, Covington, Mandeville, Madisonville. You got it all right there. All throughout Southeast Louisiana, Pride Roofing has you covered.
You just got a new roof on the old place, so that got sold. I'm getting a new roof on my house at some point this summer. So, look, we talk them up, but they make a concerted effort to check all of the boxes. You know you got to be insured, licensed, and bonded. But Mike Faraday and Alex just do a fantastic job. 1-855-PRIDE-16. All we ask is you give them opportunity. You will not be disappointed. We promise you that.
Brad David says you can't go 8-4 after spending over $100 million firing Kelly and hiring Lanning, plus spending what you did NIL transfer portal. What do you think that price tag is? 35?
I agree 100%, Brad David. Nobody's going to talk 8-4 over here this year. That's 8-4 is not even in my mindset. I don't have a number yet. We all know for the first 5 at home.
I just wanted to get it out there that it is absolutely required, and it should be accepted that anything less than playoff in year one is
disappointment.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. Is that what is that where we're at?
Well, I certainly will say this now that Jordan Seaton came in here,
because they're going to spend the same amount every year. By the way.
Well, I know.
A 1-year deal.
I know, but you're not going to have 42 transfer portal guys coming in here. Going to be more of high school. You can't build it with 40-something players in the portal every year. You just can't. But my point is that I will say this. I do think LSU is going to be preseason 9, 10, or 11, right in that window with the acquisition of all those players. And even Paul Ears Feinbaum now is backtracking. Did you hear all this stuff?
No.
Oh, he's giving Lane Kiffin a BJ. Now that Saban, he don't have the knee pads for Nick and Saban anymore. But he's saying, yeah, Lane, it's going to work out. He's going to show everybody he made the right decision. He made the right call. He's going to look smart. So all of a sudden now he's backtracking, realizing that.
Well, because he's looking at the calendar. It's getting close. It's going to be SEC spring media days and spring football, and he's got to have Lane on the show. And so.
Nah, Lane and him don't fry fish.
You want to bet that he's going to be on the show?
Not like on Mondays, like Kelly. There's no way.
No, he's not doing that. But Lane takes a beating from him all day, every day, and still goes on 3 or 4 times a year.
And Lane embarrassed him because he pulled up a mid-season report on what he said about Kirk Cignetti, and said he wasn't worth the money and he wasn't this and who's this guy, and all of a sudden.
And by the way, despite all that, when those two are together, it's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, so but he called Feinbaum on the carpet with the prediction, tweeted it out, and don't you know, a couple days later, Paul Feinbaum was on the SEC network.
If Lane Kiffin
apologizing.
If Lane Kiffin is not with Paul Feinbaum at SEC Media Days, it's not complete.
I understand.
That's the best part of the week.
But he's not going to give Paul Feinbaum any scoop or any favors.
I don't know. We're going to see. For some reason, there's something about Lane where he almost loves people ripping him that way so he can be in front of him, and I don't know. It's part of his shtick.
Give us an update on LSU Mississippi State if you're out there. I'm sure that we could give you updates throughout the show. Once again, Lady Tigers are like Mike said. I like the way you said that there's a layup. I don't know what the spread would be tomorrow night against Arkansas, but it would probably be 30 or plus. And then hosting Alabama Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
I'm pulling up the live stats right now. So, all right. Torque Lewis says his expectation is the same as Lane Kiffin's national championship, and they're down 30-10, says Chris Bordelon.
What?
Yep. Mississippi State 30, LSU 10.
For real?
Yeah. I got the live stats up right here.
Okay, well, guess what?
Field goals, Mississippi State, 5 of the last 6, LSU 0 of the last 4, and LSU's had no field goals in the last 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
This is why we're going up against that, okay? I'm not going to say it's unwatchable. But they were favored. They were favored against.
I'll say it. It's crap.
They were favored against South Carolina, 7-8 half points, 7.5, 8 points. We're down 50-25 at halftime. Came back once again. Do you blame those kids going to get the shot thing and then leaving? I'm sorry. I don't want to be negative against Double N, Matt McMahon, but. This is hard to watch. This is hard to see. It's like watching somebody who's got cancer die right in front of you, and you got 3 months to live.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over, Matt McMahon. And we always say it. We like him, but unfortunately, it's over.
By the way, the most impressive thing he did all year long, Mike, I don't know if you saw this, is he made 45 free throws in a row. Did you see that time?
That's nice.
Yeah. Speaking of that, all you guys out there beat up women's basketball, right? What do you hear from your people? Oh, high school boys could beat them, yada, yada, yada. You ever remember Dale Brown, Will Wade, anybody having a team that didn't miss a free throw in a game? 20 for 20 at the foul line the other night. So if you don't enjoy it, it's not your cup of tea. We don't understand.
It's all relative. You don't expect women's basketball to be as polished and as but you got to factor that into your mind when you watch it.
But they play below the rim. The men's game is above the rim. I mean, my point is 20 for 20 is damn good. Right. I don't care who you are at the foul line. And I have given this over to Mike. I think the biggest thing that you have moving forward with Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers, they're bigs. Can you get a little bit more from Kate Koval? Can you get Joyner to stay out of foul trouble? Can you get Zakiya and Grace Knox, who are very mature as freshmen, can they continue to get on, moving up with playing at a high level? And then, of course, as we know, Full Wally, man, who does she remind you of? You ever seen a young lady come in here, a ball hawk or stealer, so explosive?
No.
I don't either. She's something.
does Coach McMahon get fired tonight, or let him? He finishes the season. They're not going to do that.
You don't have anybody on the staff that can take over.
Yeah,
David Patrick could, but
that didn't make any sense. You don't have to do that for basketball.
no. That pretty much everybody knows. Verge and everybody out there told him, you make the NCAA dance. Now, I looked it up. Remember, you and I had this discussion, and I think after this year it's going to be about $6.1 million for the buyout. But we'll see. Don't have as many sugar daddies in basketball as they have in football, so we'll see how the money works.
Mega Tigers said it weeks ago, undefeated national champs, be bold, be lame. Ryan Amanda Guidry comes in and says, go Tigers, or says, let's go. Kevin Winslow, can LSU really afford to fire McMahon with all the money spent on football? The problem is the apathy is so bad. No one. Usually, I have someone who sends me a photo at 10 minutes before tip off of a men's game. I didn't get that tonight because it's so bad. That apathetic, the person who was holding on for dear life, he didn't go tonight. So, and I thought maybe the little Shaq statue might be enough to get him there. But even he's had enough. So,
but it's an interesting question. So it's not just paying McMahon off. I don't know what his assistants and what they have on their contracts, how many years they have left. But you got to pay off his staff, and then you got to throw a bunch of money in for the new coach and his staff. And so if you pull the plug after this year, you're talking about I don't know how many millions, but it's not chump change. And so once again, Verge has done a fantastic job, but he has been pretty adamant about, look, we want to be in the playoffs every year in football, and football's the big dog, and football's going to get the majority of the NIL money. So that, to me, is the first mistake.
I get to the PMAC before they open the doors to the public, most times. There are more people waiting to get in the PMAC for women's games than there are at men's games after tip-off.
Oh, of course.
And I'm talking an hour and a half before tip-off. Yeah. That's sad.
Kudos to the lady fans and all the fans with the ladies that showed up Monday night. It was chilly, and, of course, they moved the game up an hour. But look, none of us want to beat up Matt McMahon, but it's been a 4-year run, and it's been tough. So you mentioned Will Wade today. I got to ask you, are you getting information or you think it's a crapshoot? Personally, I think Will Wade knows that NC State's a much better basketball school than LSU, but is he getting all the things that he was promised over there at NC State? But he's got a relationship with the president, Wade Rouge. Of course, hired him over at McNeese when nobody wanted to touch him because he still had the show cause.
Well,
right?
I'm assuming NC State's a basketball school.
They are.
If you're going to hire him away after 1 year, you're going to have to guarantee him a pot of money of a certain amount every year for NIL. Is LSU prepared to do that? Are there some people that miss LSU basketball being something that matters enough that they're willing to step up and do that kind of money like they do for football? I can't answer that question. And certainly if NC State is worried that they're going to lose him to LSU, you got to believe they're going to ante up even more money.
Yeah.
It might not be as easy as you think.
By the way, got a text message, LSU shooting about 30% from the outside, and maybe the Tiger guys and the team were expecting to tip off at 7 and we're ready for 6. But this is the second time this year where LSU's been a favorite in a game, and they have laid an egg to start the game. And that right there, Mike, is why you make the decision. Because guess what? What he's telling the team is going in one ear and out the other. Not being disrespectful, but they're 1-6. They got their ass kicked against Mississippi State in the first half. They came back and got it to 7 or 8. But once again, what kind of game plan? Now, look, I know Mississippi State's got a great point guard, and we'll talk about him. He'll probably end up with 25 or 30 tonight. But the preparation, the game plans, getting that team ready, who's motivated? You got nobody in the arena. You're 1-6. Mike, it's a dead-end street. It's just not going anywhere. It just can't go anywhere.
31-14 with 7:22 left in the first.
So that means they've scored 14 points in 12 and a half, 13 minutes. Pitiful.
All right, let me do this real quick. All right, everybody, see it right there on the spring. The hottest new oyster spot in Baton Rouge, Baye's Oyster Bar, 315 North Boulevard. It's the old Jolie Pearl. They're serving up the best farm-raised oysters from Grand Isle. No mud, no grit, just clean, delicious flavor. Let me read off some of these to you. Barbecue Nola style, grilled oysters in a Worcester sauce with garlic, rosemary, and Tabasco. Brie and bacon oysters. That's grilled oysters with bacon and a creamy brie cheese sauce. They got the classic char grilled that have the butter, garlic, lemon juice, and the fresh herbs. The corn mock shoe oysters. Baked oysters with a mixture of corn, bell peppers, and fresh herbs and bechamel sauce. That one was one of my favorites. Oyster Bienville. Of course, that's the baked oysters with shrimp, mushrooms, bell peppers, white wine, and breadcrumbs, and Oyster Rockefeller. They've got a great turkey brie and bacon sandwich. They've got a roast beef po' boy to die for. That's why you need to get over to Baye's Oyster Bar on North Boulevard. They got a great bar stocked with top-notch bourbon and a massive craft beer selection. And look at that on your screen right there. Genesis of Lafayette, 3.99 APR for 60 months on a 2025 GV80 and 4.99 APR for 72 months. And the same goes for the GV70, 3.99 for 60 months, 4.99. And again, Genesis of Lafayette, the premier luxury dealership. They offer the finest SUVs and cars in the region. 6600 Johnson Street. Jaron Guidry and his team over at Genesis of Lafayette, huge LSU fans. And there is a reason why they sell more Genesis vehicles than any other Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. They make great deals. They go the extra mile. They're not going to not return your phone call. They're not going to try to sell you something on their lot that it's not the color you want. They're going to go locate and get the one you want. And great service department and more. I don't care where you're at in the state of Louisiana or East Texas. If you're an LSU fan, give them a chance. They'll earn your business over at Genesis of Lafayette.
Great safety features. Once again, we say it every week. Tiger Woods, I don't know what he would have been in, but Genesis saved him.
Using the GV80.
Yeah.
Yep, the original one. Yeah, 31-12, Mississippi State. You guys get us some more comments and questions, and we'll get to them. We're going to be here for another 30 minutes, but you and I talked about it on your show earlier today. Was there any gaps? Was there anything missing in this transfer portal haul? That combined with the recruiting class, I can't see anything. Now the question is, are we going to be singing a different tune halfway through the season if there's no injuries? Maybe. Certainly not all of the transfer portal players are meant to be starters. A lot of those guys are really, some of them are practice players. You can figure out which ones those are. Some of them might even be what you would call the preferred walk-on category. They needed all of the above. They needed starters, they needed depth, and they needed practice players at a lot of positions. But the positions that needed starters, there's no other team in the country, I think, that got what they needed in the portal. And when you look across the board at where they got the top guy at certain positions at what 4 or 5 different spots, just an incredible haul. And to end it with Seton last week was absolutely huge. And I think they knew for about a week that they had gotten him, but it had gotten quiet. There was no communication. And you just didn't know. And but they got him in the end, and absolutely a huge get. And that, if you're Sam Levitt, how excited are you to see that big guy come in the fold with all the other offensive linemen?
You expect him to wear number 77. I don't know if he's going to be 325 or 330, but he is going to be a huge protector of that backside for Sam Levitt and all the quarterbacks. I like Devin Harper next to him at left guard. Braylon Moore, want to see what he's done physically. Is he going to be a little more bowed up at 305, 307? Ball from Maryland is a plug-and-play guy, a nasty guy. And then at right tackle, there will be a battle, whether it be Weston Davis, the kid Tompkins or whatever. And then you got backups there. Mike, you talking about not filling the spot. I got to ask you, you've seen Richard Anderson and Deuce Gerald and Lamar Brown. Trenton Henderson, all these guys coming in on the D-line. Dominic McKinley, what kind of year is he going to have? And is there enough talent for LSU to be productive at the D-tackle spot? And on the flip side, on the outside, or am I going to look like an idiot? I predicted 40 sacks last year with Pyburn and all those guys, Peyton and Jabari Muttley, and they didn't even get to 30 sacks. That being said,
But they had a good number of hurries. I mean,
a lot of hurries. We know that. We talked about that. But my point of it is that how much better is LSU at the line of scrimmage, which wins about 90% of the
Don
games?
McKinley's
in the
a
SEC.
year older, bigger, stronger. I think there's going to be a lot of kids. I can't wait to see under this new strength conditioning coach the difference. And
Richard Anderson, you've seen him. Is he in the too deep?
I just wonder what is reasonable to expect out of him.
Yeah.
Because to me, let's say in the last 30 years, how many true freshman defensive tackles have had big impacts?
Yeah.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Booger McFarland. Mm-hmm. But how many have been like that since?
Yeah.
Even Glenn Dorsey's first year, how much did he play?
Yeah.
But he's a beast.
And they got a bunch of D-line coaches. Not only did they bring on Sterling from South Carolina, but Lou Danos, and I mean, they got edge rushing coaches. Oh, by the way, I asked you this on the show today, Eastern Royal working him hard. You hate to say they're going to get everybody they want, but, man, if you're a wide receiver and you in this 3 or 4 I-10 corridor, you want to get the football, they're going to get every wide receiver that they want.
They're recruiting New Orleans right.
Yeah.
They're doing it right.
And legacy. They're offering all these legacy kids, Joe Adia's kid,
LaFell.
Brandon LaFell's kid. That's a great marketing move.
I remember Brandon LaFell's commitment and signing like it was yesterday. We were all focused on R.J. Jackson.
I was going to say there was a running back. I was going to see if you remembered R.J. Jackson.
R.J. Jackson.
Was highly touted even more so than LaFell.
And there was this other guy at the end, Brandon LaFell, that like was an add-on. Like, who? And because everybody's attention was R.J. Jackson, an LSU-Texas battle. Mm-hmm. And nobody even said, oh, this guy Brandon LaFell also signed. It was like an afterthought. And then Brandon LaFell's video arrived at Rivals. Of course, I was at Rivals at the time. It arrived after signing day.
And everybody went, wow.
And had it came a month earlier, he would have been a 5-star. Everybody was blown away by it. It was too late.
What did he end up as rating, 3 or 4?
I think it was a 3. Maybe they got him in as a 4 late, but I don't even know if he was a 254.
Yeah.
You know, a Rivals 250. But it was like, but I was also like, how can a kid from the Houston area that's doing that and nobody know about him? It made no sense to me. But anyways, it was like he was an afterthought, but he was a guy that they knew about, Les Miles and his staff, from Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. And so, and of course, R.J. Jackson really didn't have the career that much of a career at LSU. But yeah, it's neat to see Joseph Adai, and of course, who was your famous caller that would butcher his name every show?
Gary.
Gary would call him Joseph Adicky.
He did. He sure did. And, of course, Joseph Adai played quarterback in high school and came over and, Peyton Manning loved Joseph Adai when they went to Colts. You know, he loved Joseph Adai. And so, speaking of that, folks, we hadn't really mentioned much of the running backs. I don't think we know enough about the 4 they picked up from the portal. I like the kid from Utah, and there was one other one that we like. But across the board, Mike, we don't know the difference makers. We don't know how good they will be at a position. But the numbers, and guess what? Iron sharpens iron. Those backup quarterbacks are going to work their tail off because they're going to realize one play and there's a starter. Same thing with running backs. But Caden Durham, if you got him healthy with Harlan Berry, and as we know, wide receivers for days, it's going to be a lot of fun
44-17, Mississippi State. LSU's 0 of the last 4, 255 scoring drought, almost 3-minute scoring drought for LSU. Mississippi State 13-3 run over the last 4-17. That's embarrassing, people.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry.
I don't want to kick them anymore. So Look, my buddy Chris K goes to those games, and I sometimes tease him, and I think, I think you and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but we talked about it with A&M. That was the game where everybody knew, okay, it's got to be over. Nobody's going to put up with that. Embarrassing.
Look, there's some LSU basketball fans out there who are still deluded and think this team's something.
No, but listen, the blown lead against Kentucky was the final straw for Matt McMahon. I don't think they'll ever overcome that, and it looks like they're going to 1-7, and apathy is certainly set in.
Chance Babin, did y'all see Lane and Kevin Smith at Billy's Boudin today? He is absorbed. No, I did not, but that's going to be an extra 30 minutes plus of hot yoga he's going to need if he ate a bunch of that.
Yeah.
Barry Barbier, what I simply don't understand is why doesn't Verge Osbury pull the plug on this guy right now?
Because there's no advantage to do it. Really. What would the advantage be?
Yeah.
Other than one thing, telling everybody in the country that you're going to be needing a new basketball coach. But once again, we don't know the inner workings.
Do you really need to do that in college basketball?
No. I think that the guy deserves the end of the year.
And if he fired him at the end of the game tonight, does that mean that all of a sudden the next home game there's double the attendance?
No, it's
what does it affect?
No.
Is it going to make LSU win 2 of the next 3 ball games?
I understand what Barry is saying because, like I mentioned earlier, these guys aren't listening anymore. You know, everybody's just waiting. Look, they got money. I picked up something for the kids at Canes, and guess who had his billboard up? Sutton, Markel Sutton. Mm-hmm. He's had a couple good games, but they're not getting paid. Thomas, the point guard, got over $1 million to come here. And guess what? Look what they got on the web.
Jeff Jones, give Matt McMahon another year. We don't care about basketball enough to pay a $6 million buyout. And several people have asked me, including Linlin here, thoughts on the Nuss. I have not seen the Nuss interview. Have you seen his Senior Bowl interview?
I have not. But
I will go look at it. I have not seen it.
You know he's going to interview well.
Well, of course he is.
We'll see. The TA told me he was going to be late second day, so we'll see.
I think he's right. Stroube's everybody. Got to get downtown. You're looking for a great date night. You're looking for a special occasion, or you're just wanting a high-quality meal at a great price. That's why you need to get to Stroube's Seafood and Steaks downtown, 107 3rd Street. Again, a 5-star dining experience with a high level of pride in the building because they're not a national chain, locally owned and operated, all fresh ingredients, USDA prime black Angus and 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. They got a great seafood offerings. They got a great steak menu. And that's why you need to book your reservation online tonight at Stroube's.com. Please let them know that TigerBait sent you in. Tell the hostess, tell your waiter. And if you see Rick, the owner, walking around, please tell him as well. And like I always tell you, get the lamb lollipops for an appetizer and the crawfish mac and cheese. And all their desserts are made in-house. Great, great desserts over at Stroube's if you've got a sweet tooth like I do.
And they do a fantastic job of getting you in and out with your reservations, with your parking, with traffic, all of that. Great PR, great customer relations. And as always, if you're looking for a reservation, call them, book them. You will not be disappointed.
Yep. I want to go back to what Chance Babin was talking about, how they're absorbing the culture. We're now hearing that they will be doing a coach's show. That was something that we were wondering because he didn't do one at Ole Miss. I know a buddy of mine says, man, how in the heck is he going to get in there? That place is going to be packed. TJ Ribs isn't big enough.
Well, they got state police that'll escort him in and out there. Look,
yeah.
He doesn't. Well, of course he'll know about Baton Rouge traffic.
But the other part I heard was if he doesn't do it, then it'll give Kim Mulkey and others a reason not to do theirs.
Yeah. No, and that's in the contract. He gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. I don't think you're going to see the evil twins. I don't think you're going to see a lot of interaction where you walk up and do the mic, Chris Blair.
I'm wondering if he wants to do it. He might want to do it here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a totally different animal.
It is. It is.
And again, I've said it I said it on last week's show, and I absolutely believe it. I would be shocked if he's not talking to Nick Saban weekly, if not multiple times weekly. What he's doing in New Orleans and what he did last week and what continues to do, him and his staff, is the Nick Saban playbook throughout his years here. And he's, I mean, what's the first thing you do if you go to New Orleans? You go visit J.T. Curtis.
Yeah.
Right? After you go to Carr. Maybe you go to Carr next. But you make those your first two stops. Valdez at St. Aug, Shaw, Warren Easton, all of them. Have been hitting them all. And even a lot of schools that don't have players for the next year or two, him and his staff, they're doing a fantastic job getting out. And I've got a notebook full where the number of scholarship offers that they've extended in the last 48 hours is staggering. So Billy Glasscock and that group in the LSU personnel department, football, they've done their homework. And I don't know if you're ever going to see an interview with Billy Glasscock. I put in, I've asked for one, but go type his name into YouTube. There's no interviews out there. He's never done one. I can't find one. If you know where one's at, send it to me. Doesn't have a Twitter account.
Well,
he's not on Facebook. I don't think he has an Instagram.
He's making $1 million.
He's quiet. He does his job. He does his homework. He's not all about look at me. Can I come on your show? Can you get my name out there? And there's none of that. He does his work and he does it well. And so,
one of the highest paid GMs in all of college football, and so far well worth it. Congrats for those guys. I mentioned this a couple times, Mike, but I don't think people realize the craziness of the timing. Kiffin is hired on November 30th. He comes over here. Remember that day all the coaches were coming in and finding about their offices and all that, and here they are 2 days later, they're hosting people in Tiger Stadium, hosting people all around, taking them to restaurants. They didn't know anything about Baton Rouge and all the little nuances, and yet they still killed it with that hall.
And by the way, they did a great job of also retaining guys from the old staff, whether it was Jeff Martin, J.R. Belton, and others. Sam Petito.
Oh, okay. All those guys are retained?
Yeah. I mean, and it, took a while. But I think they did a good job of realizing who were the guys that
Sure.
were high talents that you didn't want to get away. I think they did a good job of not retaining assistant coaches that needed to get away.
I'm going to be frank with you, folks.
Yeah, let me be frank with you.
Could be a Frank bomb coming in here from Mikey. Give me an update, folks. I want to see if LSU's going to make a little.
I'll let
five
Buddy
up.
handle this question from Brad David. Mike, what do you think of Tim Brando? Did you or Buddy know him when he worked at WFB? Yeah, okay, we can move on.
Well, I will say this. Tim is a friend of mine, and I met Tim many, many years ago. Tim actually is one of the reasons I'm on the air, because he was doing a show across the river at WIBR, and then he went on to bigger and better things, and I was able to come in and do a show with Broadhead and Nasty and invariably get my own show. But Timmy is he's a piece of work. He's a national guy. He's quite confident. He does a good job.
Do you like him ripping on Kiffin in the last month, the stuff that he's put out on Kiffin? Just jumping on the national guys' bandwagon?
He doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue about LSU and Kiffin.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any inside over here. That's probably just jumping on. He's not a bad guy, but anyway, look, there's a lot of people that get beat up in social media, and I'm sure Timmy's got friends and fans.
I don't know if he did a Shreveport show years ago, and I think I appeared on it a couple of times decades ago. But
yeah, he got mad when my show was being aired in Shreveport, and more popular than his was here in Baton Rouge. But anyway, he's a good guy. He's full of himself. If you know Timmy, you know he's not lacking in confidence. But anyway, he has a tendency to.
He's a great guy. Just ask him.
But he likes to go against the typical trends. So he just jumped on it here. Loves to say fly in the ointment, and all that other stuff. But the excellent play-by-play man, especially in basketball.
I always
football.
like Timmy Brando. Maybe I'm picking on him too much, but I do think his takes on Lane Kiffin it went overboard.
Yeah.
The clips that I've seen. out
Hey,
there.
you don't need to listen to Tim Brando about Lane Kiffin. Trust me.
No, and I think he probably went a little far with all the stuff with Dale Brown a few years ago.
Oh yeah, now don't get you get passionate on that.
Yeah.
Of course, Dale got him a bunch of gigs and really helped his career. So.
Of course, that's all the same group that wanted Johnny Jones to be the head men's basketball coach, and a lot of those same people now are showing themselves, and you know who they are. Remember who they are. To me, they should sit down and be quiet and have no say-so when it's time to make a change for the men's basketball program. Nobody wants to hear from them ever again.
You saw one of those.
Anybody
guys.
who was all for Johnny Jones getting the job.
You saw one of those guys in the parking lot this week.
Yeah. All right. What I got? One more thing here.
Give me an update, Carl the Cat.
Yeah, I got
What do you have on the score?
44-21 at halftime.
Oh, Jesus. 50-25 to Carolina. That's 25 a differential. 44-21 down 23. Look, I'll give them credit. They can't play any worse and can't have any worse game plans in the second half. So they didn't quit against Carolina and cut it to 7 or 8. I just don't know, Mike, if those guys care anymore. I'm not saying they're quitting, and they didn't quit against Mississippi State, but like I said, I don't think the message, and let's be honest, Matt McMahon's never had a good enough staff. He just has not had a good enough staff ever since he's
I don't think he's ever had good high school recruiting.
Yeah, so.
All right, let's talk about Alumni Hall. You got to get over to Perkins Rowe. Beautiful store. Got a lot of LSU season stuff in now. Got all the lane train gear as well. Alumni Hall. Again, use code TigerBait, all one word, to get 10% off, whether at the register in the store or online at alumnihall.com/LSU. And again, the best and largest selection of LSU gear anywhere. They've got apparel for the whole family, men, women's, kids, youth jerseys for those LSU baseball jerseys. They've got in every color you want. Free shipping on all orders over $99. Hall Pass rewards. For every $150 you spend, you will earn $10 reward for future purchases. So you can't beat that, and use code TigerBait to get 10% off. They got the mix and match 2 for $38 LSU Champion brand T-shirts. You can mix and match men's, women's, and youth sizes and get that deal. Just a whole lot going on at Alumni Hall. Great people, and that's where you want to buy your LSU gear. You can buy LSU gear a lot of places, but they're trust me, shop with Alumni Hall. They're big in the NIL space. They're involved with LSU athletes. They give back, and they're a great business to have here in the Baton Rouge community.
Don't make it a quickie when you get in there, folks. Give yourself a half hour. There's so many things. The last time I went over there, I stayed 42 minutes. I timed it. Tees, hats, all kinds of stuff. Once again, as you
Like
just
two walls of hats.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
crazy.
But make sure you get that TigerBait discount.
Yep, and they've got the branded Bills hats in there now. I think the branded Bills are the best hats that you can get, and they've got all those in stock right now. And need to talk about Capital City Grill. You see it on the screen, the chicken and waffles. That dream cake is to die for. Great brunch, 11 to 2 on Sundays at Capital City Grill, downtown Baton Rouge. Again, it's at 100 Lafayette Street. They've got great sandwiches and burgers, seafood, pasta, and more. But they really want your brunch business. Sunday brunch from 11 to 2. But if you want the regular menu, you can get that as well until 3 p.m. And, of course, you know already it's a great lunch spot and dinner spot during the week, Monday through Friday. 7 days a week they've got it for you. Again, capitalcitygrill.net. You can see their menu. And LSU baseball season around the corner. You come in town. Go get the brunch before you head to the box on Sunday, and you'll be ready to go. Of course, Jay probably didn't want you to fill up too much because he wants you to buy all those expensive concessions in Alex's box. But
Look, I was just thinking while you were talking, it's got to be tough for Chris Blair and John Brady. I think they do a fantastic job. They've got great chemistry. They don't talk over each other. But how tough is that for John Brady to be watching this as the analyst and the color guy? Look, John was a disciple of rebounding and
Going to the Hall of Fame this year.
Defense. Huh?
Going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I mean, every time you turn around, he's going in another Hall of Fame. But it is brutal, and I would say that they'll probably finish that game with under 1,000 fans in the stadium, in the PMAC.
It's awful.
And, of course, tomorrow night, it'll be 10, 11,000.
I feel sorry for Kent Lowe. He's having to endure this.
Yeah, buddy, I didn't think you'd ever get this man over here. Poor Kent.
Who doesn't have a Kent Lowe impression?
Yeah, Jock does all of them so well. But anyway, you just got to hang in there. The good news tonight on our show, folks, is that LSU has reloaded. And I really believe, you know how this stuff starts. You get vibes of what's being talked about in spring. And then you go to that SEC Media Days, usually mid-July. And I'm wondering, because, I hadn't asked you this, but BK was the first guy up there after the commissioner, and he liked that early spot that first day on Monday. I don't think they're going to put Kiffin in that spot. I think they're going to put him in a little bit different spot.
I think so too.
Where, but he's going to be interesting to watch, and obviously, but I think as you get a little momentum, I still think LSU is going to be preseason 9, 10, or 11 after what they have accomplished. But folks, you still got to find out about injuries, chemistry, just the leadership. You still have to have all those things that sound sappy, but as we know,
when you've got that many new players, buddy, you can't have the whole mindset that your leaders have to be guys who've been there for a year or two.
No.
You've got to have people that come in right off the bat and assert themselves, and that's hard to find. But as the years have gone by, the NCAA has given. Look, you have spring football, you have fall camp. But there are days in June and so forth where the coaches can have more interaction, and they've really got to pinpoint some guys and let them be leaders. And I don't care where they come from. That's going to be the tallest order. You got 58 new players. How do you build chemistry and how do you find leadership?
Well, and a lot of those guys like Jordan Seaton and Sam Levitt and everybody, they're going to get acclimated to this heat and humidity and getting them in shape. And so I'm excited to see what Savage can do. I'm excited to see what they look like at the line of scrimmage. Do not worry about skill athletes. LSU is going to have plenty of skilled players. Special teams, you got a new guy coming in. He just brought in another coach, just brought in another guy from Georgia as an analyst. They have checked all the boxes off. And obviously, don't forget, I wouldn't be here tonight without our great sponsor of the night, Demco, Dixie Electric Member Co-op. Mike, it was so nice last year not to have to look, and watch the Weather Channel and go to the Demco Storm Watch. Anytime there's bad weather, anytime there are problems with electricity, look, we're going to be honest. We're going to be straight shooters, great integrity, but levelized billing, which keeps it on a level to where it's not going to be $400 in the summer and maybe $200 in the spring. Levelized billing, great sponsors, and they are great community partners as well. Dixie Electric Member Co-op, as always, we appreciate those folks for being a sponsor on this show with me and all of our other shows.
Y'all need to go to TigerBait and subscribe. $1 if you're not a subscriber. Go check us out. We got a great Peyton Pops Houston update on the website. We got him for an interview after him meeting with Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss, et cetera, on the staff, talking about the LSU offense, really in depth with him. I think you'll enjoy that one. Of course, he's LSU's class of 2027 quarterback commitment from Evangel, and you'll want to read that story. Go to TigerBait and subscribe after the show. Try us out for $1 if you're not already a subscriber. We've got already other analysis pieces up there. Preston is working on a big one that's about to run. So we've got a lot for you on TigerBait.com and more coming. Baseball coverage as well. I'll be at the PMAC tomorrow night for the women's game.
Imagine that.
And, yeah. And It's going to be we're about to hit that season where everything's happening at the same time, which I actually enjoy. It's fun. I enjoy being busy and going from one to the other. But anything you want to add?
Just that, Knox Kiffin, you're starting to see videos of him working out. I always thought he was a little bit small. Looks like he's growing, can make every throw. And Kevin Smith, the running back coach, has an incredible son who is going to be a great athlete. I don't know if they're both going to be at U-High or what. It sounds like that's what it might be lining up as. But with these new coaches.
If you're a coach, you got to want them at U-High. How convenient it is to just go right out the building and be on the field. Can't beat it.
Yeah. And, oh, by the way, the quarterback at U-High last year, Emil Picarella, is going to be on the roster as a camp arm and a walk-on. And is this...
I can tell you that they don't view him as a walk-on.
Yeah.
They recruited him at Ole Miss.
Yeah. He's got the size, and he just needs an opportunity. But, look, once again, don't be crazy. Drip those faucets. I know you've all wrapped your pipes. Drip your faucets just a little bit, especially
we've been doing it every night.
With this stuff coming in here Saturday, Sunday. In the 20s, I know they exaggerate a lot of times, but if you're like me, you don't like the cold weather, I can take a little bit of it. Today was perfect, Mike. 55 in the afternoon, a little 32 this morning. But be safe, be careful driving around, and look, it's a great time to be a Tiger fan. Yes, basketball's in the tank. Forget that one. But gymnastics back to number 2, and they look like they're going to compete with Oklahoma to win it again, as you know how good Jay Clark is. Once again, we have not talked about Mike's favorite sport, and that is Betharine and softball. We will get into that.
Right where they always are, 12, 13, 14, right?
No, I'm the DA last year that said OKC. You will see OKC. It's all about pitching, but she's starting up here. Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers, I think they're really...
Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. She's got a great recruiting class coming in, and they're young. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. We do it every year. All right?
Well, let's
start making the excuses now.
I'm not going to predict OKC, but it is contingent on pitching. But once again, Mulkey and the Lady Tigers going to host 2 games in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center and have a chance to go Elite 8, Final 4. Jay and baseball, once again, opening game 2 weeks from Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock against Milwaukee. Some of those early games in the season, he moves up on the Friday games at 2 o'clock. There was some griping about that, but for weather and other reasons. And then, of course, as we know, this football will continue to keep you updated. I ask you this, is there any guys that they could get in here? Signing day, the second signing period, is 1 week from today.
I'll be shocked if they don't do something that we're not even looking at.
Really?
I mean, maybe not. We'll see.
And Eastern Royal, they want him and others, but I think you said a mouthful. They have started to make those relationships stick in this state, and this is going to be a rolling giant.
He's a grand marshal of a Mardi Gras parade. I mean, believe me, Lane Kiffin coming to the high school in New Orleans is turning heads. It's wherever he's at, and so Eastern Royal sees that. Look at the photo of him with Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. Like that just made his week.
Well, that's when you saw Seton. By the way, Lane's going to find out what it means when they yell, "Throw me something, Mister." Mm-hmm. Is that tradition still alive?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Kiffin, Charlie, Billy, all those guys, we're not on first name basis with it, but glad to have you in town and so much to look forward to as you Tiger fans. Oh, by the way, one other tidbit: Bill Belichick did not.
That was ridiculous.
Did not get in. Well, they just sent out, the Pro Football Hall of Fame Committee just sent out a blurb about an hour ago and said that they could boot some committee members voting if they did not adhere to the guidelines. And I'll be honest with you.
That was my first thought.
If you didn't vote for him, first ballot Hall of Fame, you don't deserve a vote.
No.
I'm not a Belichick fan, and I think he's always been an asset.
I think they should publish who didn't do that.
But that's what they ought to do. They ought to publish the guys that did not vote for him.
Who's the little clown at USA Today? Always whining. He was a COVID bro.
Yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a whiner.
But anyway, we'll see what it comes
I
to
bet
that.
you he's one of them.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. Thanks to all of you. Ryan and Amanda Guidry, great show, like always, she says. Thank y'all. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it on the way out. Again, hit the subscription notification bell because we've got a lot coming your way here on our YouTube and our Facebook channel.
See you next week, everybody.
Good night.